Well,
Hello, hello. Wait a second. I just saw Michael on two cameras.
Oh
How
no.
fast is he?
like Superman
All right, this is going better than last time though.
or Flash. Which one of them is super fast?
Flash.
All right, how's the new family member?
Oh yeah. Hey Clifford, pop up. Come in.
It's gonna be a dog. A big dog.
That's the big guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hmm.
honey.
And, and by big guy, I mean my gut. So that's him. And then Cookie is coned up on the couch back there because she's
Oh,
having
okay.
some issues with she's got like an infection in her tail, so obviously we can't have her chewing it while she's getting medicine. So
Oh,
that's
so she has a lampshade?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And people will be like, "Oh, what about a donut that's better for the dog?" I go, "My dog has a very long snout, so we've tried all the like nicer methods, and she just can get to it. So she gets the big giant cone of shame, as they called it, and up.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to start this?
Yes.
All
The,
right, let's get this show on the road.
that's like kind of.
Well, Snow, we've got our favorite comedian back on, Jail Cook.
Yes.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Brent Terhune was here, or perhaps Christian
Oh,
Finnegan.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't return my emails.
he's burning us. He's repping us.
No, very happy to be here.
Hey, we brought you here today though because we thought we need like an intervention on you because on your podcast, right on your parade, you sound very depressed about your career, and probably rightfully so. But we're here to say you cannot fully retire until you play the great city of Kingman, Arizona.
I would love to. I'm hoping that we have another stand up with Pete event in March, and obviously, we could do the event at 2 a.m. at the Kingman, at the Kingman, Arizona Amtrak stop. We'll make it a really cool thing. It'll be me and hopefully all the other people who were on the shuttle van with me earlier this year will be able to join. Yeah, no, it's I know I try to balance the show with sort of being, hey, JL's being funny, self-deprecating, and JL's being very painfully honest about the state of comedy and art, etc. But I just don't, it's a very it's a very stressful thing being a comedian now, at least for me, in terms of every gig feels like, and some of this is me, so I don't think this is for everybody, but for 15 years, the first 15 years of my comedy career was kind of like, oh, I got a good thing. Oh, I got a big thing. Okay, maybe this is going to be the thing. Maybe that'll be the thing. And it sort of just slowly wore me down. It didn't wear me down like in a big, fast way. It was just kind of slowly you get used to it. And then, by the time a little before the pandemic, I was just like, yeah, I guess I can just do it part time and focus on, making money like with a regular job. And I don't have to quit comedy, but I don't think I can make it my focus anymore. And I was kind of okay with that. And then the pandemic hit, and I had this like huge success that I felt was like earned and deserved, but it was still sudden. It was like somebody had given me 15 years of the success I wanted in like 1 month. And it was kind of like a beyond a sugar rush. And so I've been chasing that since then. And, I've picked up lots and lots of followers. I'm still picking up, tens of thousands of kind of Facebook, Instagram followers, but they don't really translate to ticket sales anymore. And I think that's not unique to me, but obviously some comics can turn their fan base into ticket sales, and others struggle. And that wouldn't be a big deal for me if I had come up as just kind of a social media comedian. I'd be like, yeah, I'm killing on social media. That's where I make my money. That's how I am part of this business. But I come from, a decade and a half of real quote unquote stand up and doing it the old fashioned way and wanting that success. And like this Philadelphia show I just had, I had a decent crowd, not great, but not embarrassing. But like I spend the whole week worried about ticket sales, not worried about my act. And then like you get there, you enjoy it for like 2 hours and and I do you mind if I just tell you the Philadelphia, the post Philadelphia story?
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want here.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time stressed about the show. I get there, it's an okay crowd, like size wise. I was happy enough. And so, but I have to run to catch the 10:28 train because I got to be up for work at like 5:30 the next morning. So I'm catching the 10:28 train back to Newark, New Jersey. I get to the station. It seems kind of empty. And I was like, ma'am, where's the 10:28? And she looked at my code and she said, that train's been canceled. You have to take they now that train now ends in Philadelphia. So you have to take like the 11:15 to you have to wait here for the 11:15 to New Jersey. I go, okay. So now I'm tired. I'm like, great, this is eating into my sleep time. Then we get on the train and it's like crawling for half the trip. So it should have been an hour to Newark. It was like an hour and 40 minutes to Newark. So now I'm exhausted. I get off, I get a cab. I'm like, all right, I'm almost home. We get off the highway, the main avenue through my town, like through several towns, they're doing massive road construction, which makes sense kind of like 1 a.m. on a Wednesday or Thursday is like, it's just not working for me because I'm trying to get home. So we have to do like a 2-mile detour. I'm like, I could have walked home from the exit faster than the detour took us. So then I got home and I felt Laura, my girlfriend, was sleeping. She woke up, she always asks me how things, and then she doesn't remember a thing because it's like a bad dream. Like literally, I'm like a bad dream when I come home from a gig late at night. She's like, how'd it go? And I'm just like, I have like tears in my eyes. Just she can't hear it because I'm strong. I'm a strong man who hides his emotions. But I have like half tears in my eyes, just like thinking, what am I doing? What is wrong with me that I just spent like half of a day? I took a day off from work so I wouldn't be late to the gig. I just wanted to be able to take an earlier train so that I'm not, because you get paranoid about all that. So, what if a train like screw up happens? I need an alternate plan. You don't want to leave it to the last minute. And I just went to bed thinking, I can't keep doing this. So I think I just interventioned your intervention.
Okay, well, have you thought about this point though, that okay, Trump, I mean, how many years does he really have left? I mean,
No, and trust me, that part is very easy to keep going. Like that involves, like I just did a video that I'll post when we're done here, about Canada, and it dovetails nicely for my Canadian shows in 2 months. Why are my dogs losing their minds right now? Sorry. Cookie's tap dancing in the kitchen, apparently. But can you give me 1 second? Sorry.
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Did you hear I said sorry? Like I'm already getting ready for Canada? Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Cookie.
Apologizing for everything.
Stop. Thank you.
All right, that was the first reprimand on the podcast.
Yeah. The one time though that I looked at Cookie and she was doing this tap dance thing, I was like, what are you doing? And then I looked down and there was like some weird bug in our apartment that she was like trying to slap. And I was like, oh, good girl. Sorry. Didn't realize you were doing the Lord's extermination. But so like the Trump stuff, the videos, those are easy to do, but and podcasts are, I take a trip into the city once a week for Rain on Your Parade. I do my other podcast from my home. So these aren't interfering with my life. It's just very hard for me, I think, to separate that everything I've done in my comedy career has been like a means to an end. And the end has been more live shows, building up more audience for stand-up shows. And even if you wanted to say, well, the live shows for Trump, those sold poorly in New York. So it's not like, oh, they don't want to see my stand up, but they don't want to, they want to see the Trump stuff. That has sold well in Canada, but in America, it's done horribly. So it's like you built up your career with the goal being like live shows and like selling tickets and building up that aspect. And that seems like kind of half dead, if not three-quarters dead for me. That's why it's so difficult. Like if you guys, so you've got Reality Redemption podcast, and let's say it keeps going well, you keep getting other comedians besides me to be on your show, and and then all of a sudden somebody says your listens are way down, but um, we love your background, and you're becoming very popular on Pinterest as like for your artwork and you'd be like, well, let's keep posting those, like, and let's say Pinterest paid money for like every time somebody used like an image of your studio. You'd be like, well, this is cool, we should keep doing the podcast because Pinterest is like, we're kind of blowing up on Pinterest or Instagram, whatever the case may be. But then you're like, but nope, we're not getting any new listeners to the podcast. That would create kind of a good and bad feeling, because you'd be like, well, that's good. We're making money and something is valuable is coming out of what we're doing. But we are doing a podcast. Like, first and foremost, we want listeners, we want support for that. And we're getting this kind of like side support, which is cool, but that's how it sometimes feels with like me getting a lot of internet success, but like not being able to translate like hundreds of thousands of people for a variety of reasons into like ticket buyers. So,
Um, I have a question too. Do
mhm.
you think that maybe people, I kind of think that people are kind of a little bit weird ever since COVID happened.
Yes.
Like that they found that they could just stay home and do a lot, so they don't really
Yeah.
go out like they used to.
No, I think you're completely right. I mean, and that shows across the board, like movie theaters. Now they're hurting themselves. Like, I think movies come out way too quickly on like streaming services. I'll be like thinking about
Yeah,
going to see a movie, and then they're like, it's coming to HBO Max in 2 weeks. I'm like, I guess I won't see it then in the theater. Like, I like
right,
going to the movie theater, but like sometimes it's like I kind of feel dumb if I'm like, oh, this will be on Apple in a week, then I guess I'll watch it on Apple. Um, so
right.
yes, I definitely think people have gotten weird, and I think it's maybe because I was the opposite. I was like, oh, I can't wait to go on the road. I can't wait to go to some sporting events. I can't wait to go to some concerts. So like I just assumed we were kind of like that, like people were like that. And my audience skews much older. Like for a comedy club, people are sometimes surprised. I'd say like the median age of my audience is like got to be in the mid 50s, late 50s. Like, I'm not drawing a ton of young people, but doesn't matter to me. Like, a ticket sold to a 90-year-old and a 19-year-old is the same amount of money. But
Right.
I notice it a lot. Like when I go to movies, I see young people, like they're on their phones the whole time. They're walking in and out of the theater like it's a background, like it's a jazz trio playing in the background. It's like, this is a movie. What are you doing? So I think you're right. I think I just can't believe that COVID shook us up that badly in terms of just how we interact, but it did, and how we engage and what we decide to go out for. Um, and my audience, I think, is obviously will skew left, and right wing people made it a point to go out as quickly as possible just to show that nobody was going to stop them, whereas I got messages in 2024 telling me, I really want to see you live, but hey man, COVID's not over. And I was like, you're never going to see me live, that's okay, but you don't have to check in with me every year to tell me that COVID's not over. So yeah, I think that's a long rambling way of me saying I think you're right. I think that has had an effect, but it seems to have impacted people who like my comedy like at a higher rate.
Mhm.
Do you think it's just the shorter attention spans of people with TikTok and everything else that
Um,
sitting through an hour? might be hard for some people?
It's,
Oh.
I think not with like, not maybe with the people who are coming to see me. I think, TikTok, I don't think it's affected people in that way because, in terms of attention span, I know people will come to comedy shows thinking now that they can be part of the show because of TikTok. But I don't know that because obviously for other comedians, TikTok has been a blessing and they're selling out 6, 8 shows. I think it's partly who you're reaching and who, and my algorithms seem to hit on politically liberal people who don't like going out to comedy shows.
Dang, yeah. I want to go, but like, do you ever do shows out west?
Well, that's the thing. I have for years, and especially after 2021, like when my profile had really exploded for a brief amount of time. Like I thought, oh, I'll write to all these clubs because now they'll see I have the social media following, but I'm also a guy who's been doing comedy for 2 decades. Like I'm not some social media like, hey, book me and like we'll see what happens. It's like, no, I got the act. I got the material. This is just now I finally broke through in a way. So I was always trying to go everywhere. I would email like I've emailed clubs in Seattle, and I'm like I know you're not in Seattle, but I've emailed clubs in Seattle. Like I'm talking like shithole clubs, like clubs where I look, and I don't mean this to sound arrogant because it's not. I look at who they book, and I'm like I would be in your top 5% of like social media following and credits. Like this isn't. I'm not saying I'm the shit. But I'm saying compared to who you book, you should be begging me to come to Seattle to like headline your room. No response, which I think that runs into my problem of not having representation. But as far as the West Coast, I've done like shows in LA. I've tried Seattle. I've done shows in Utah. Obviously, the Vegas event is not so much a show that I did with, Stand Up with Pete, but it's now I'm at this point where I have the full-time day job. So like whatever shows I do have to fit into vacation, which is fine because I love going out west. Going out west, I'm very happy to make that, a week and a half of vacation time. But it's no longer where I can just tell a club or clubs if they'll even respond to my emails. I'm available anytime. You tell me when you want me out there, and then I'll coordinate other gigs around it to make it work for me. So, I I tried for many years to just, get work any way I could. And, it's sort of the perfect storm, no representation. So, a shitty comic with an agent has a better shot of getting work than a really good comic with no agent. Which is just another harsh reality of, so like would I like to I performed once 13 years ago at like I think stand up live in Phoenix.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice
Yeah.
club.
I've been there too.
Yeah, really nice club. Performed there, but they book the A-listers, and I couldn't get an email response if I tried. So it's a harsh reality, unfortunately.
Well, I can get you booked in the new theater here in Kingman. Well, it's not new.
Well, no,
We
we're definitely doing a Kingman show. If and when I make it out in like the spring or something.
During like Pod Jam 3.
Yeah, if that happens, which I hope it does, yes, that would be the perfect time because then I will go to Kingman a few days early, sleep in the train station or outdoors at that train stop, and then
What?
just go right
can
to the
find us,
show.
though.
You have to sleep in a tree.
No, of course, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But I think for the podcast, it would be a great experience. I'll live stream it.
Yeah, it would be funny.
I'm sorry, I keep looking back, but they decided, of course, now is going to be the time to roughhouse. You stop it, guys.
So
Okay,
what's
thank you,
your
guys.
First dog fight.
what's your frustration though with like the girls on TikTok just taking
Oh,
up your voice?
I consider myself obviously an ally and a supporter of women, uh, and but this to me is just such a. It was so weird because in 2020. I had my moment. I was blowing up. And then a woman named Sarah Cooper lip synced Trump and became like, a global star for the rest of the year. And I thought, oh, well, that sucks for me, but so be it. That's where we are. I'm sorry. Sorry.
The dogs are cracking me up. Dogs always make me laugh.
Looks nice enough.
Is he a lab or a retriever?
I think we lost the sound here.
Oh, he's muted. He needs to unmute.
You're muted.
Yeah. Am I him?
God, that's my bad.
Oh, there
I
he
made
is.
so many good jokes and I was muted.
I know you
Clifford,
picked up a book. I saw
I know
like
I was doing
book
a
or something.
sponsorship. I was like, we're gonna get the DNA test for Clifford. He's some sort of hound, Labrador hound kind of mix, I think.
Okay.
So we're gonna find out. If he's not pure blood, he's out of this MAGA household. But about the women, so in 2025, I do this Bad Bunny video, which kind of catches fire again, which was hilarious because I was like, oh, it's happening again. This video, it got millions of hits on 3 different platforms, which I thought was really cool. And then I was like, people started mentioning, like clicking, putting me in their mentions on TikTok a lot. Like I would open it and I'd have like 100 new mentions every day. And it was because a few women had done, nice looking women had done, but not nice looking, but not like TikTok trying to lure you to their OnlyFans kind of nice. This is really.
You don't have to mute it.
I just used some unchristian language with these dogs, and I apologize.
Oh, that would have been brilliant. You should have left it.
No, if there's a 5% chance I run for office, cursing at dogs is probably a real bad one for voters.
Hey, yeah, at least you're not shooting them.
That's
Like
true.
Christy
No,
Wong.
but I'm a Democrat. If I were a Republican, it would be cool and not woke if I yelled at dogs. But as a Democrat, if I tug the leash of my dog too hard, I'm unelectable.
True.
So I see these women lip syncing. I was like, oh, that's cool. They're like getting my, that's spreading my work. That's okay. I understand how TikTok works, where you can clip the audio of a video, but I do have credit in the corner. You know what I mean? It has my face, like indicating that that's my audio. But most people join TikTok because it's the thing. They don't know how it works. So everybody's going, I can't believe Trump said this. I can't believe Trump said this. And then other people are telling these women, like, you're so funny. This video is so funny, what you did with it. And I'm not gaining the huge amount of followers because either people think it's really Trump, which is a compliment to my work, but not a help to me, or they just think it's cool that they lip synced it. And so I ended up having like the 4th most views on TikTok for my own video. Like the low point was when a guy just sitting on his porch listening to the audio and shaking his head like Trump is disgusting. He got like 1 million more views than me. And I got like 2.5 million or something.
Well, and the thing that kind of, I felt your frustration there when I saw the story that went out there and said, no, Trump did not say this. I would read 3 or 4 articles and none of them gave you credit for it.
Right. It was like or some did, but it's almost like, but how do I have this ability? This is one of the frustrating things. It's one thing if people can take or leave my stand-up comedy. It's not for everybody. A lot of people like it. Some people might think he's okay. I think I'm obviously very good. That's why I do it. But whatever, I can understand. But on the Trump stuff, I'm throwing aces well, that's a bad analogy. I'm serving aces every time. And I'm getting fact checked by like the AP and Reuters and like you'd think that would boost my credibility as an impersonator and be like worth some currency. Like this guy's he's so good he has to get fact checked by the mainstream media. He must
Yeah.
be awesome. Hey Colbert, hey Kimmel, you know. And obviously if I had an agent, they'd be doing nothing but calling those people. But to me, this had to have been seen by the video, the Bad Bunny video got seen by so many people, and that audio got heard by millions more. And my favorite part of this, it's a small ending, but my favorite fitting part of this is I had a show a couple of weeks ago in Midtown Manhattan. So I go, my cousin was there with a couple of friends, and I asked the crowd jokingly in the beginning, I was like, is anybody here because they're fans of mine besides my cousin? And nobody clapped. Nobody knew who I was. That's fine. It's just my hometown. Nobody showed up. And after the show, a family came up to me that was like, I guess they were tourists and they came to the show. And he goes, "Oh yeah, no, the Bad Bunny thing. I've heard that a bunch. I just didn't know it was you. That impression is so amazing." And I said, "Perfect. See, I have fans at my shows who don't even know they're fans of mine because of this. Like they might have come to the show on purpose instead of accidentally if they had known that that was me. So it's a very frustrating thing because you're sort of going, on one level, I appreciate people just like admiring what I do. Like that feels good. But even this doesn't translate into like as many followers or views or ticket sales as it should. That's what's, I picked up like 10,000 followers on TikTok. The woman who lip synced me picked up like 8,000. And I'm like, those are my fans. Those should be my fans. Those should be my followers. But it's a weird world we're in now with art and entertainment.
How about your new job? How you like enjoying that?
I am very stressed about it, and I'm probably more stressed than I should be. For those who don't know, I'm a lawyer working for this organization, this nonprofit organization that basically we offer representation to poor people who are, being evicted or close to being evicted. So it's very meaningful. It's something that I was actually really interested in, and the job just popped up. Like it was the craziest thing. I was reading this book about working homeless people, and I was like, how would I get involved? And then this job offer like literally popped up on like a list serve that I'm on. But I find it very stressful. I think just because it's been a long time since I had I think a legal job that I really cared about. Like I've had jobs where I'm like, I want to do this well because I don't want to get fired. But this I care about more than just like, I want to keep getting this paycheck, so let me do the job. Like I care about this. So I think that creates a little extra stress. So, I don't think it's a coincidence that my feelings about comedy have gone south with kind of usually for many years I had no anxiety coming from my day job life. You know what I mean? It was just like, hey, I'm working this job for 4 months. Fine, do my 9 to 5. I don't have to worry about it. I'm not thinking any career or any, you're just doing whatever for some big company for a few months and you move on. But I feel like I'm not used to having stress from, 9 to 5 on top of 5 to midnight.
Yeah, that's got to be a lot. How do you think the shutdown is going to affect that aspect of it and these people?
Yeah, we've been getting notices about, just obviously New York. I live in New Jersey. I work in New York, and New York is a, progressive state overall. And, like a California, works very hard to insulate itself from the BS coming from Washington. But I've seen emails where it's like, okay, for now, SNAP benefits are good. Tell your clients like these, but there are new work requirements going in soon. So there's going to be probably changes. And when you just see how on the margins people live and how expensive, the thing that shocked me about this job is how expensive shitty places in New York are. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about I'm talking about I lived in Manhattan 6 years ago. I had a studio apartment in a doorman building in Manhattan. My rent was $2,400. That apartment is now $3,100, I believe. Now that's crazy. That is crazy. That said, I have seen apartments and in like bad areas of the Bronx that are poorly kept, that are in like not tremendously safe neighborhoods, et cetera, don't have a doorman and all these things, where it's like, oh yes, this one bedroom in this building is $3,000, and you're like, how is that? How can it be charging that much? And, without getting into the whole scheme of it, you realize, it's very easy for Republicans to sort of, they paint pictures of, look at this woman lying about how many kids she has so she can get more benefits. This is what's destroying our economy. As wrong as that may be, or as understandable as that may be, if you're living in poverty, you might be tempted to just try to get a little extra money however you can. I question the landlords sometimes, where it's like, well, you're just charging $3,000 because the government will like meet that. That's the maximum you can charge. So the tenant may be required to pay $700 a month. And then whatever state or federal program, they pay the rest. But this apartment shouldn't be $3,000, as an example. It should be $1,800. But as a landlord, maybe I can charge the max, knowing that the government's going to pay me. Nobody ever talks about that kind of how much money that costs the government. It's always easier to demonize like a poor person who committed fraud, possibly, than maybe on a much bigger scale. There's these apartments should be cheaper, especially because not a lot of them are very nice.
And
Yeah.
Vice Mamdani being vilified for that exact reason.
Yeah, I mean, I know that there are some people who, and I think after October 7th and all that's gone on in Israel, I can understand some people being very heightened in their sensitivity to any language or any positions that seem particularly harsh against Israel. That said, as he has said, he's running for the mayor of New York, not the mayor of Israel. And I find it so hypocritical. And it's another example. I mean, you've probably seen me rant about this stuff where Democrats always get treated like they have to do everything perfectly. And if they don't do it perfectly, they're worthless and bad. And Republicans, nobody expects anything from Republicans. They're just like, well, yeah, Republicans don't have to do anything because they're Republicans and their job is to just say, we're not Democrats. And when Trump got elected in 2024, which is so gross, he ran, obviously there was all sorts of misogyny, racism, bigotry baked into the MAGA cake. But he ran on this inflation's out of control, the price of eggs, the price of goods, affordability. He ran on affordability. Now, Donald Trump is a traitor. And he was a convicted felon. He tried to overthrow an election. He's the worst human being, I think, ever to be president. And I'm including slave owners in that. And still this country was like, well, I can look past his flaws and his criminality because I can't afford anything. I can't afford eggs. I can't afford gas. Fast forward less than 2 years later, or less than a year later, and Mamdani is saying people can't afford homes. We're not talking about eggs. We're talking about where you sleep at night. People can't afford that. That is you can choose, I'm sorry, but you can choose not to eat eggs. You really don't want to choose between like, hey, you could be homeless if rent is due. So the idea that he's proposing some radical, probably not workable solutions, but in the spirit of making affordability the main issue, I think is a good thing. I think centering that, and even if he doesn't get what he wants, if he gets 20% closer to that, that will help people. If homes are a little bit more affordable, if transit is a little more affordable, if all sorts of things are a little more affordable, if he can get compromises, if he can pull people a little towards that direction, then maybe people will see, hey, that's a good path, or hey, that was better than I expected, or hey, we should be helping more people. But he's a young Muslim man he's Muslim. Yeah, he's a young Muslim guy who who didn't say all the right things. He has said some controversial things on Israel. And so once again, the Democrat has to be perfect, even when he's talking about helping people stay in homes. Donald Trump, after all he did, could win a presidential election pretending to care about egg prices. Mamdani, the controversy around him, I think is so overblown, but it's really embarrassing to me that, well, why can't he at least get the same chance that we gave to Trump? And he's not 1/1000th the ethical or moral problem that Donald Trump is. And he's talking about making people's homes affordable, not making their groceries affordable. I know both matter, but the home is, with no home, you don't have groceries to complain about. So I just find it, I get that he's maybe too left for some people, and maybe he said some things people don't like, but I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think he's energized voters. I think he is coming from a good place. I think he will hopefully move New York in a little more progressive direction. But this fantasy that he's going to turn, New York City, he can't do a lot of the things he wants without buy-in from, state and local lawmakers. So it's like, but I think just like and I'm sorry for rambling, but like in 2016, I voted for Hillary Clinton. I was a big Clinton supporter, but I gave money to Bernie Sanders because I specifically liked the message he was sharing. I didn't think he would be a better president than Hillary Clinton, and I don't think he would be effective at getting the things he claimed. Like, look how much trouble Democrats have with a more modest agenda. So I think, but I thought Bernie, he pushed Hillary Clinton to the left on some issues. And if that's all Mamdani accomplishes, if he runs the city and it doesn't turn into a flaming hellhole and a few things become more affordable and services maybe improve and housing improves a little bit, that's a good thing. And it's not something to be feared. So I'm all for the guy, giving him a chance. And like I said, I think people are enthusiastic about him. The people who like him are very enthusiastic, and they're not maybe always on board with the Democratic Party. So I'm a thumbs up for him. And I hope it works out. I don't have expectations that it's going to be some progressive utopia, but there's a lot of problems. And just because it's, poor people in the Bronx and Brooklyn and Manhattan who maybe don't look like poor people in Iowa, they're poor Americans. They need help. This idea that like helping, I do think there is a little bit of a subtext to this, like, oh, but if you're helping the poor people in New York, the poor people in New York are disproportionately people of color. And that feels more like socialism than helping farmers in Iowa who are losing money. That's America. That's America helping out Americans. But when it's poor Latin and poor Black people who might need assistance, that's socialism, and that's radical left handouts.
Yeah, and I think he scares the shit out of the rich too. I mean, because like you said, all of his stuff wouldn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
But if you push them, if we're at least pushing back on the rich, because I think that's America's true problem. Is like it's more of a class warfare than anything else. Yeah, we still
have to stop the
social.
oligarchy.
Yes, yes, exactly. I mean, it's the same reason why they were scared shitless of Bernie Sanders too. I mean,
Well,
it's
the rich, I think, are just like kind of the gun people, where
Mhm.
taxing the rich a little bit more will be good for everybody, and you won't miss it. You won't miss it, you psycho. You have $20 billion and you're worried about there's nothing on earth you can't afford 10 times. And you're scared of like what will happen if you get taxed. I don't know. More kids will have breakfast and lunch at school. Fewer people might be homeless. I don't know. Probably good things would happen with your money. But I think it's the same, like I said, with gun people, they fear this like slippery slope. So if you ask gun people, hey, should like assault weapons maybe be not as readily available, or should there be a longer waiting period before you can get your gun so you can do a thorough background check? They'll be like, sure, that makes sense. But then you have people in power who are like, but once they do that, then they're going to just say
Mhm.
no more guns. And then they're going to say, and so the rich have this kind of weird, I can't imagine being like 75 and worried. Like I have $10 billion and I'm 75 years old. I'm so scared of what the future could be if they start taxing me more. Oh, you mean when you're 95 and your immigrant nurse that you tried to keep out of the country for lower taxes, when they fucking are wiping your ass and you're only worth $7 billion on your deathbed? Oh no, oh no, we can't have that.
You know what? You should run for office.
I know. I think between comedy and my day job, I need one more thing for the anxiety triple crown.
Fundraising. But would it be true that you would have to scrub all your comedy work off the internet if you did run?
No, and I wouldn't, but that was that was a friend who works in politics giving me not an order, but saying that would be something that might concern donors or institutional groups if there was too much salacious or offensive stuff out there. That's why, if I guess you listened to the most recent Rain on Your Parade, but that was sort of what I was wrestling with, like how much would I be comfortable getting rid of? Like if I had a joke that I told 14 years ago that like means nothing to me and I'm like, oh, that's kind of crappy or rude or crude, or get rid of it. But the bulk of my comedy work, I would sort of be saying, yeah, I like I'm a regular person and I'm a real comedian. And if you look at my private life, if you look at the way I vote, etc., you will see a good person off mic. On mic, on a given night, you might be like, this guy seems kind of mean, or this guy seems kind of crude. And sometimes you might be like, this guy's really funny. But I feel like a band, I can't scrub that. Like that was sort of the decision I was wrestling. If called to, if somebody said, we really think you need to like shut down your this and delete that, I'd be like, but if I'm running as a comedian whose skill set could be of use to the Democrats,
Mhm.
getting
And
getting rid
they
of my
they need all the
work.
help they can get,
Yeah.
quite frankly,
So
especially in the comedy department. I personally think you should run, leave it all out there, because let people watch it. Like that could go one of two ways. They could say stuff to you, or you could become even more popular with them finally seeing all of it.
no, but I think I've thought about that and I said the only way I could do it morally for myself is if I do not care what impact it has on my comedy career. Because
Yeah.
I do think it's an important thing. And I know people have said to me like, hey, and win or lose, maybe it bumps your comedy career. And I'm like, I don't I don't know if I'm at the point in my comedy career anymore where I'm looking for a bump. like I'm kind of looking for hospice for my comedy. I just want my comedy career to pass peacefully with loved ones around it. Whereas now I feel like if I fight again, it's like my comedy career needs a DNR. It's like, oh, but what if you get 100,000 new followers? No, no, I said do not resuscitate, even if social media numbers go up. I've been there before. So my thinking is if I run and I have, very little time to really decide and then just go full into it, if I decide to run, I have to go. That's the only reason to run. You know what I mean? Like, is to win and to do something decent, not to care about. Um, and I'm not saying you were telling me like cynically, like, hey, who gives a shit? I'm just saying morally and mentally, I just have to, I need to be in a place if I do this to be like, it doesn't matter what happens to my comedy career. I'm not like, this is, I'm doing this, taking this big leap and this big chance because I think I can actually help.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, do that, but I would just leave the comedy out there too, just for the
Yeah, no,
laughs.
no. Oh, sure, sure. And I think obviously, and Mark, I'm saying this now until, I'm actually getting traction, and then Trump, retweets one of my videos and it gets 1 billion views. And I'm like, oh, that's 100 grand on YouTube. All right, thanks, Mr. President. Let's keep this going.
Yeah, I mean, because you literally are the best. No one else can do. I, I mean, I'm thinking maybe even start a thing where you prank call people as Trump.
If you're thinking about supporting this J.L. Covan character for Congress, let me let you in on a little secret. He is very nasty, and he is low IQ, and he isn't he will be harassing Lauren Boebert in the House of Representatives if you let him into Congress. She's a very lovely Christian woman with guns, and we shouldn't have giant monsters threatening her.
Can we take that sound clip and have Snow do a TikTok video?
Um,
Yeah, but now I don't
yes.
want to because, like, I don't.
No, no, no.
First
This
off,
is,
I'd be
you could
like,
do
you know,
this.
take all the new followers. They could just go straight to jail.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
know.
I give you permission to do that. You just got to be cleavagey when you do it.
That I can do.
So thoughts on the White House being torn down this week?
The
I
beautiful
didn't think
Baldwin.
I haven't read today's main section of the New York Times, but I did find it kind of really well done that they printed an obituary, like they did it in obituary fashion for the East Wing, like it died. And
Oh,
I think that's, right. And I think that's actually within the bounds of normal journalism. I think that's a very good approach to this. I watched it and I just thought, this is so vulgar. Like, if Donald Trump moved into your community, okay, like you were part of a homeowners association, and he came in and built a home that violated all the sort of rules that everybody agreed to in the community, you'd be like, he needs to go. We're suing him. He's making our neighborhood look like crap. He's built this trashy thing that we specifically said, the community doesn't allow for A, B, and C. He's doing that to the White House. Like, he's
mhm.
being a shitty, trashy, like low class, new rich neighbor, but to the house of our, like, one of the houses of our government. It's gross. It's like, and that's the thing. Like, once again, because liberals are mad, it automatically becomes okay. Like I think there are MAGA people. It's like if you threw their children off a bridge and the first person to react was a Democrat going, "That's horrible." They go, "Oh, look at the left. They hate that Trump just killed my kids. They're so woke." Like like, this is gross. This is vulgar. It's and he just wants to put, he's like a dog urinating on a tree, except the tree is our country.
Mhm.
And his supporters are like, no, that's super cool. That's super cool. The left, he owns the left. And it's like, congratulations, he's turning our country into a giant laughing stock, dangerous piece of shit. He's blowing up Venezuelan boats like it's a fucking video game. It's truly atrocious. And so I'm sorry I'm getting off topic, but the White House thing, I found it vulgar. is I think the word I would use, like an abuse. It's like an abuse what he's done.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm,
it's
I'm from
gross.
I'm from Vermont, and it came out yesterday that he's not going to give funding for the floods that happened over the summer there, when in fact the towns that were flooded were heavily MAGA areas. And those people will still not lose their support of him. They'll still be like, "Oh, thank you,
My
thank you.
house is gone,
My house is
but
gone, but you're still president. You're only lives."
you're still awesome. At
It
least you're
serves me
fighting.
right, serves me right for living in a blue state. It's actually my fault. It's sad. Yeah, it's I mean, it's so crazy. Like Joe Biden went out of his way. And I think this is a sad lesson of the Trump era. Joe Biden got things done, but also went out of his way to sort of test the limits of the MAGA movement. Like he put a lot of those clean energy jobs in red states. He thought that would protect them. He's like, look, I'm actually helping red states get jobs for the new technologies. Only not because I want to show them, it's so that maybe the Republicans won't get rid of them. And so that's what a president does. Whatever you think of Biden, that's the kind of president you want in terms of how he treats the country, which is to say, I want what's best for the country. And if helping red states is best for the country, I'll help red states. Donald Trump has an agenda that is, does it help Donald Trump? That's first. If there's anything left over, does it hurt Democrats? And that's it. That's it. There isn't even a third where he goes, and with the bronze medal, I'll help my supporters. No, it's does it help me? Does it hurt Democrats? And then he goes to sleep. Those are the two things he asks himself on any agenda item. And it's, and I mean, they have to demonize somebody. And I had a joke about this where I was, where a couple of years ago, where somebody yelled out, "Let's go, Brandon," at a show of mine in Pennsylvania. And then I got really good laughs out of them because my whole point with them was, why are you so mad at Joe Biden? You don't have to like Joe Biden. You don't have to like Joe Biden's policies. You could be a Republican. You don't think his policies are good, but you're so personally mad at him. And my argument for that was because if you weren't so mad at Joe Biden, then maybe you wouldn't back the MAGA movement so hard. But you have to believe that every Democrat is some sort of like pedophile demon so that you can hate them enough to validate supporting a horrible human being, a horrible president, so that you can convince yourself that that's the right decision. So you create this fantasy that people like Joe Biden, who's just, at the time, it was just like he's an old guy who's like passed some big bills that help your state and help some of your fellow Republicans. And you act like, he's the devil. And it's ridiculous. And meanwhile, Trump is will hurt you personally if it meets one of his two criteria. Like he'll hurt Republicans in Vermont. Like you said, he will sacrifice his own MAGA voters if it means more Democrats hurt. And it's disgusting. And we're so far gone. My theory of American politics right now for Democrats is I don't want to hear anybody. You don't have to spend your time demonizing MAGA, but I don't want to hear anybody telling me from Bill Maher on, we've got to talk to them. We have to be willing to talk. We have to have a conversation. You can't write them off. Yes, we can. They have written themselves off. The people we have to go after within reason are the 70 million people or something who didn't vote. Like
Yeah.
that's who, because the MAGA movement, if you're down with Trump in 2025, there is no bridge I can build that can reach you. You're watching this and you're enjoying this asshole like holding a magnifying glass burning ants. Like that's what you get off on. And it's been 10 years. It's the 70 million non-voters. It's people turning 18 who've never voted. That's everything should be about how can we reach you? How can we explain to you how urgent voting is? How can we explain to you historically and currently how the Democratic Party is the only path to progress? It may be frustrating. It may be too slow for your liking, but there is one party that can move things forward for people, whether that be slow or fast. And there is one party that is dedicated at this point to fucking over people, to put it simply. Like, and those are your choices. And we have to get some of those 70 million people plus to realize that and to get engaged. And you're not going to win over a lot of them. Many of them probably don't believe in voting. Many of them don't care, or whatever the case may be. But that's where your majority comes from. The MAGA movement should be like in Europe, where you'll hear about, like, oh no, the German like far right party got 22% this year. That's very dangerous. They're getting more power. Here we're like, oh no, the psycho far right party won everything. And the MAGA movement should be like a 30% movement that, like, oh no, they won that Senate seat. Ugh. Not, oh no, they won the Senate, the House, the Supreme Court, and the presidency. Like, that's way far gone from a normal democracy. They should be like an aggressive fringe party that we try to like drown out with overwhelming votes. Instead, they govern.
Well, to your point, is you can't talk to them. I was going back and forth on the local pages because they were melting down because we had the protests last week and we had good turnout and most of the support was positive. But online, they're like, well, the Democrats shut down the government. I'm trying to tell them, I'm like, well, no, they could solve this if they wanted to. Get rid of the filibuster, pass it. Or number two, go the nuclear option. So the majority wins. And I don't know, I was sharing with Snow the screen caps of this, and you just could not get through to them as simple as I tried to break it down to them.
Yeah. And the filibuster, that would be one of those things that, even though I wouldn't be running for Senate, I'd be like, get rid of the filibuster. You know what the filibuster does? It stops things from happening, but it also allows Republicans to pretend like they can't do what their people want. Because if the Republicans got rid of the filibuster, they'd have to vote on these things that Trump wants, and there'd be nowhere to hide. It would be like, I guess I'll vote for this so Trump doesn't get mad at me. And then when things blow up, they get blamed because now they're accountable. The filibuster is like an offensive lineman blocking for Republicans. It keeps them from getting in too much trouble, but they pretend it's because they care so much about the process. No, they don't. And that's the one thing I'll give Trump credit for, weirdly enough. He's always saying, get rid of the filibuster. And I agree with him. I agree. Let your government, whether it's right or left, let your government be accountable. Like, you elect people, now let them do stuff. And if they do stuff you don't like, then you can vote them out. But instead, we have people too cowardly to do stuff who just want to sit in power and go, oh, the filibuster, we're protecting the filibuster. Fuck the filibuster.
Do you think Trump is melting down about the World Series? I mean, you got Canada versus LA.
Yeah, he's like, is it possible for both teams to just for the stadium to blow up with both radical left nasty teams? Yeah, I mean, I it's like there's nothing. It's a weird thing to say on a podcast, but it's like there's nothing left to say about this piece of shit. Like, it really, like, this idea of like his grudge against, like, he has me. Do you remember the Four Nations face-off? I don't know if you follow hockey at all,
Yeah,
but yeah, the NHL All-Star game is a huge success because they basically, instead of doing a traditional All-Star game, they had like a Canadian team of NHL players, an American team of NHL players, I think a Sweden and a Finnish team. And this was around the time of Trump saying Canada should become the 51st state and we're going to tariff you into oblivion. And I remember when they were booing the anthem, and I was rooting for Canada.
Yeah,
And I was like, that's what's so gross about like what Trump does is if you're a decent person, you're like, I mean, I don't want America to be in too much trouble because I live here and like, but Trump is like everybody in the world is justifiably thinking, God, I hope they get fucked over. Because look at what a bully, look at what a piece of shit bully they elected. And
Mhm.
when they booed the anthem, when Canada booed the anthem during these games, I was like, yeah. And I had somebody say to me, it's the athletes. They should respect the sport, just respect the event, like not get political. And I'm like, but it is political. Like if Russia was threatening to wage war on us, and then they played the Russian national anthem at a sporting event, do you think Americans would just say, let's respect the anthem? No, they'd be throwing things, they'd be booing. And I'm like, you're basically threatening Canada's sovereignty and their economic well being, and then going, but don't make it political. I was like, no, they're booing it because they hate this country's government. That they're doing the exact right thing. If they just booed it because, like, boo, you're the opposite team, that's disrespectful. I feel like if you're booing the anthem because what the country is doing is trying to violate your sovereignty, why wouldn't you boo the anthem if you're Canada? Like,
Yeah. Speaking of hockey, do you think your Rangers and my Bruins are going to pull out of it this year?
um, I hate to admit this, but tomorrow I bought myself one ticket to the Devils Colorado Avalanche game. It it Devils games are so much cheaper, and two of my favorite players to watch are Nathan McKinnon on Colorado and Jack Hughes on New Jersey. So because of my family ties to the Rangers for so long, I can't leave the Rangers, but they look bad. But I feel like Boston was expected to be bad.
They
I feel
were.
like the Rangers were expected to be like middle of the pack, and they look terrible.
Being from New Jersey, were you a Springsteen fan? Is there a
Well, I'm
lot of
from
it?
New York, sir.
What, we live in New Jersey?
I live in New Jersey now, but I don't want some rumor starting that I'm some native New Jersey tool. No, I'm kidding. I'm a New Yorker first. Don't show that. If I delete that I will ask you to delete if I run for office in New Jersey. You'll be the one thing I say, guys, can you delete that, please? No, I like Springsteen enough. I have plenty of his albums, but I am not like a Springsteen. I'm not one of those Springsteen, like, oh my God, Bruce. I'm like, yeah, he's put out a lot of good stuff and I like plenty of it.
Yeah. Well, the reason I say it, I saw the movie today with
Oh,
the guy
yeah.
from Bear on it. Excellent.
Oh, it
Excellent.
is. Damn
Yeah.
it. Now I will have to see it. I
You're
told a
not a fan
friend
of
who wanted to see it.
no, you're not a fan of the Bear, are you?
I know you love it, and I always feel bad when I trash the Bear when I see you complimenting it because I never want people to think my personal opinions are attacks on you or your taste. But the Bear, I feel like the Bear is in love with itself. I feel like the Bear is very impressed with itself at this point. And it's not funny. It's not a question of whether it's good or not, but I do find it very offensive that it's constantly in the best comedy category.
No, I wasn't a fan of it either.
Nope. I tried watching I think I only made it partway through the first episode and I'm
Yeah.
like, nope, I'm done.
Same.
I am done.
Sorry.
Well, and because of where I work, I can't say why. I was like, nope, that would never happen. Like one of the characters supposedly works where I work, and I'm like, nope, I can tell it's fake right now from that. I'm not watching any more of
News.
it.
Okay, so all right, so from being from New York now, correct myself. Ace Frehley dying. Were you a fan of Kiss?
I wasn't a huge fan of Kiss, but I was a huge fan of New York Groove. So I was very sad. I like that song a lot. But Kiss, I think my brother liked Kiss. My brother had a Kiss lunchbox when he was a kid. But he was older. So like my brother was born in 72. So he was I think, more aware of Kiss than I was. You know, I was aware of them, but more as like just oh, it's those guys in the makeup. I think he had a little bit more familiarity with them, and but yeah, it's 70. What was he? It's getting creepy when I start to see the ages of people dying. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh boy, I'm 46, super tall and out of shape. Uh, I don't know. I hope I've got 70 or 80 years in me.
I don't know, I'm 10 years older than you, so I'm like, geez.
Yeah, but at my height and weight, I'm probably a doctor would probably put us at the same age.
I will jail. Great as always talking to you. And
That's it?
oh, do you have anything to
No,
add? You got
no,
that?
no. I
So,
definitely have
oh,
to go.
we
These
want to
donuts are
introduce you to
bothering
one of
me.
your fans here, though. Bridget, come around.
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
Bridget's
Oh, that's
here.
Bridget.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bridget's here.
Oh, her name isn't Reality Redemption?
No, that's me.
Oh,
Hello. Well,
hey,
I
very nice to
actually
meet
heard
you.
Adam sing, so I told him about you, and now Adam's
That's
been on.
right. No, you were the I take credit for like being the bridge, but you're the bridge.
Yeah.
You're the one. Well,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah.
you're very welcome.
Bridget's actually the one that turned us on to you. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm also an
excellent.
aspiring comic, and I'm turning 55 soon. And I gotta get my ass on a stage. But anyway,
Oh, well then don't listen to anything I said about
please.
comedy. It's great.
Thank you for
Oh,
everything.
she
oh,
can take your
thank you.
spot.
Oh, that was so cool. Oh, nice. Thank you.
All right. So if you do make it out to Vegas, we can do like this in person.
Oh, hell yeah.
We'll do a live one. Yeah.
Oh no,
So,
like if we can get the Vegas thing, I will, that's especially with the day job, that's, my one-stop shop for like a couple days in LA, a few days in Vegas, maybe Utah. Like I just hit up everything and then I go, okay, I have 2 vacation days left for the rest of the year.
I hope I hope they do another pod jam though. I want to go again.
yeah.
That was
Yeah, and we were
fun.
we were trying to expand it to like a friend of mine. We invited a friend of mine. His name's Rod. You may see me interact with him on social media, but he runs the Black Guy Who Tips podcast out of Charlotte. Very big fan base, really good show. So Cassie, who you met last year, like it was her house that we were partying at the end. She wanted to bring him in, but it seemed like Pete was kind of wavering on whether he wanted to do it or not. And I was like, really? But for whatever reason, I don't know. So I guess I still have to talk to Pete to see if he'll do it. I hope he does. But without Pete, it's tough to center a stand up with Pete pod jam.
Yeah.
Stand up with insert comedian pod jam.
Um,
Well, we hope you do it.
yeah.
Because
Hell yeah.
that was actually with all the shit show of the last year, with me personally, professionally, and everything going on in the world, that was the best weekend I have had all year.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But just like
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was great. So I mean, and I don't want this to mean that I won't come out west. I'm just saying that the thing about Pod Jam, which was great, is it was like it basically paid for my vacation.
Yeah.
So that's why I would come out anyway, but it kind of made it sweeter to be like, oh, this pays for my travel, my hotel, and like my trip to LA or Utah, like after Vegas. So, hopefully we do it again. I'm definitely down. I think Pete is the only question mark, but he's obviously a big question mark.
Well,
Come on, Pete.
I guess we could
Yeah,
do it.
exactly.
We could
Look at
do
this. Look at this guy. Hey,
Go
who's that?
find me to get Jay out to the West Coast.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, come up here.
The
Yeah,
dog.
come up here.
The dog's on there again. Hey,
Look at
buddy.
this. Look at this sweet guy. Good boy. Oh, he's pawing me. Did you see that?
Pet me, Dad.
Yeah,
Pet
he's very affectionate. He's always like,
me.
all right.
All right, man. We will
This
let you
was
go.
awesome. Thank you. Good talking with you guys. Nice meeting you, Bridget. This was awesome.
And
Yeah, thank
until
you.
next time, we'll see you again.
Yeah, no more Brent Terhune cameos. I'll find out if you do.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I like Brent, so there's no beef there. But I'm watching. I'm watching.
No.
I guess.
Bye.
Bye.